Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not. First love's kiss can break any curse.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the job.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
Weird.
Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex. I don't need anything from someone like you.
I didn't mean to offend.
Ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple.
A wishing apple?
You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the leader I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
They just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erase that whole image.
They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV. There's power of television. And to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story. Don't change the characters.
I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
When The Simpsons decides to parody you, it's not just satire, it's a cultural intervention. And for Rachel Zegler, that moment has officially arrived. In their latest episode titled SnowWoke, the Reimagining, the iconic yellow-skinned residents of Springfield didn't just throw shade, they unleashed a full-blown roast of Zegler's highly controversial Snow White remake. In a parody that many are calling savage, The Simpsons paints a picture of a tone-deaf, self-obsessed girl boss Snow White, who bans princes, lectures villagers, and watches her movie tank in a near-empty theater. It's brutal, hilarious, and undeniably symbolic. Because this isn't just The Simpsons having fun, it's a sharp-tongued summary of a massive PR disaster that's been unraveling for over a year. To understand how we got here, we have to rewind to a time when Rachel Zegler was poised to become Hollywood's next sweetheart. Her breakout performance in Steven Spielberg's 2021 adaptation of West Side Story earned her widespread acclaim. She was young, talented, and politically outspoken, the kind of fresh face that Disney likely saw as perfect for its live-action revamp of Snow White. When her casting as the iconic princess was announced, it felt like the beginning of a fairy tale. She became a symbol of modern inclusivity, a Latina actress embodying a classic character that had been a staple of Western animation for nearly a century. It was supposed to be a landmark moment. But instead of charming audiences, Zegler's role quickly spiraled into one of the most controversial and divisive moments in recent Disney history. From the moment Zegler began promoting the film, things took a strange turn. Her interviews were filled with strong, even antagonistic,
No longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
Takes on the original 1937 Snow White.
Prince. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
In one now infamous clip, she criticized the classic Disney cartoon, calling it weird and suggesting the prince literally stalks her. She emphasized that the 2024 version of Snow White would not be waiting around for a prince or dreaming of true love. Instead, she said, she's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. While the comment was likely intended to reflect modern feminist values, to many fans it felt like Zegler was actively mocking the very story she was paid to promote. It was as though she had taken the gig and then proceeded to trash the legacy behind it. That clip alone lit a match. The firestorm that followed would engulf the entire production, creating a cautionary tale about modern marketing, internet backlash, and the risks of reimagining classics too radically. The PR nightmare didn't stop there. Peter Dinklage, the acclaimed actor known for his role in Game of Thrones, added fuel to the fire by calling out Disney's remake for what he saw as hypocritical and outdated messaging. He expressed frustration that while the casting of a Latina Snow White was hailed as progressive, the continued inclusion of the seven dwarfs perpetuated old stereotypes. Disney, caught in the crossfire of conflicting progressive criticisms, panicked. They released a statement claiming they were reimagining the dwarfs as magical creatures. However, the images that later surfaced of a ragtag group of mythical beings, only one of whom was a little person, did not sit well with anyone. Traditional fans felt alienated. Advocates for proper representation felt patronized. Critics and memes took over the narrative. The project had lost its footing. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler's outspoken nature kept dragging the film into new controversies. She didn't shy away from political statements, which, while authentic, began to feel increasingly disconnected from her professional role. One particularly controversial moment occurred when Zegler posted a pro-Palestinian tweet during a time of heightened tension in the Middle East. This reportedly caused friction with her Snow White co-star Gal Gadot, who is an Israeli actress and a known supporter of the Israeli military. When the two appeared on stage at the Oscars, body language analysts and celebrity watchers alike noted how visibly tense and awkward their interaction was. What should have been a glowing press tour moment instead became another chapter in the ongoing public relations disaster. As controversy mounted, Disney's silence became deafening. Behind the scenes, reports emerged that executives were trying to manage Zegler's messaging more tightly. She was allegedly asked to avoid making political statements and to steer her public appearances back toward promoting the film itself. But the damage had already been done. Online sentiment was shifting rapidly. What once felt like a progressive, exciting take on a classic tale was now being perceived as sanctimonious, humorless, and even antagonistic. Then came the release weekend, and it was a financial bloodbath.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
The numbers were stunning, not in a good way. Snow White opened to just over $2 million, a paltry sum compared to the towering $60 million earned by the Minecraft movie that same weekend. It wasn't just bad, it was historically bad. TikTok and YouTube were flooded with videos of empty theaters. One viral video showed a man walking into a theater for a 2 p.m. showing only to find he was one of 2 people in the entire room. It wasn't a flop, it was a ghost town. The box office bomb was so devastating that analysts began predicting total losses could surpass $300 million. For a studio still licking its wounds from other recent underperformers, Snow White became a symbol of everything that could go wrong when brand legacy meets modern reinvention. The fallout was swift and vicious. An AI-generated fake OnlyFans account using Zegler's likeness began circulating online, and while it was quickly debunked, the fact that so many people believed it reflected just how far Zegler's public image had crumbled. The joke had become her. Reddit threads dissected every misstep of the marketing campaign. YouTubers made hour-long breakdowns titled things like How Disney Destroyed Snow White. Memes ridiculing Zegler's quotes flooded every social media platform. The film's IMDb score nosedived to 1.6, nearing the lowest-rated films in the site's history. It was more than rejection, it was cultural rejection on a massive scale. Hollywood, always watching, took notice. Projects that had once had Zegler's name attached to them suddenly moved forward without her. New casting announcements came and went without mention of her name. Her social media presence all but vanished. She stopped appearing at events. Even Disney began scrubbing her from promotional materials. The girl who had once been celebrated as the next great leading lady was now seen as a brand risk. Industry insiders whispered that Zegler had become uninsurable, a term often used for stars whose reputations have become too volatile to financially justify. It wasn't just the movie that failed. Zegler had, in the eyes of many, failed Hollywood. Her personal life didn't help stabilize her image. A public breakup with longtime boyfriend and fellow actor Josh Andres Rivera gave tabloids new material. Meanwhile, rumors from set and anonymous crew reports painted Zegler as increasingly difficult to work with. Some described her as unapologetically defiant, while others said she seemed out of touch with her own audience. It was the sort of profile that Hollywood avoids like the plague: young, talented, and radioactive. And then came the final blow, the ultimate cultural kiss of death. The Simpsons episode SnowWoke, the Reimagining aired. The parody didn't just mock Rachel Zegler, it mocked everything her Snow White had come to represent. The fictionalized Snow White was arrogant, humorless, and performatively woke, delivering self-righteous monologues to confused peasants, banning romantic plots, and finally melting down after her film flopped in front of a disinterested audience. In the episode's climax, she rants on Krusty the Clown's show about being misunderstood, only for Krusty to cut her off with a sarcastic, "Next guest, please." It was a perfect parody, both savage and insightful. And most of all, it was immortalizing. When The Simpsons decides to lampoon you, it means the culture has already moved on. It signals not just failure, but historical failure, an event so socially resonant that it's worthy of animated immortality. And for Rachel Zegler, that might be the hardest pill to swallow. Can she recover? That's the million-dollar question. Hollywood is a place of reinvention. Plenty of stars have fallen from grace only to return with award-winning performances or humbling apologies. But Zegler's situation is uniquely complicated. Her downfall wasn't caused by a scandal or personal misconduct. It was a cascade of bad press, tone-deaf messaging, and a misjudgment of public sentiment. She alienated the core Disney audience, failed to rally a new one, and got caught in the messy collision between politics and pop culture. She'll need more than a hit movie to bounce back. She'll need to reintroduce herself to the public, to show humility, growth, and perhaps even a sense of humor. Because if there's one thing The Simpsons taught us, it's that nobody is above parody. Especially not in Hollywood. For now, Rachel Zegler's fairy tale has become a cautionary tale. Whether it stays that way, only time will tell. So, what do you think? Is this the end of Rachel Zegler's Hollywood chapter, or just a brutal plot twist before the comeback? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you made it this far, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into pop culture's biggest meltdowns.